So today's a good day. Why? Well, I am here to solve all of your wedding film problems. I am here to help you never struggle with a wedding film ever again. And I know that's a pretty tall order, so without wasting any more of your precious time, let's go ahead and get started. Let's face it, the creative process is more toxic than Ben Affleck and J-Lo's relationship. Most times, at least from my own perspective, if I'm simply not feeling it, I don't really edit. Even when I desperately need to. Procrastination creeps its ugly head in, anxiety enters stage right.
Where can I put my stuff?
Because I didn't get anything done that I needed to get done, and it's not really a great experience. So if you're anything like me and you experience this often, the first tip that I want to help you guys with to help kick that editing block in the face is number one, to start small. My biggest problem is overanalyzing the wedding film as this impossible task. Looking at all the different angles and ways to tell the story before I really get started creates so much overwhelm. So start small and work on just one thing for that day. Organize your footage, search for music, create your multicams, highlight your selects and favorites from the day. Just start with one thing at a time and push everything else to the side for tomorrow's problem. Next is to listen to all of the audio. Most times we struggle with a story or creating a wedding film because we simply don't remember all the ins and outs, all the story elements from the day. And doing something as simple as listening to all of the audio, all of the sound bites from the wedding day can help spark creativity and give you the best path forward for building your narrative. You'll often find little nuggets that can be incredible openers for your film. And yes, the process is tedious, but it's also necessary, especially if you want to kick past creative roadblock. And once you've listened to all of your audio, now it's time to make connections through your music. I like to think once you've locked down your music, making decisions feels a lot less cumbersome because music helps drive creative decision. What I like to do with my films is find moments, themes, and dialogue that has parallels with the music. In Helena and Bryce's wedding film, they mentioned dating long distance and learning to cope when they were so far apart from each other. So I found a song that was reflective with this moment that helped connect with this part of their story. I simply went to MusicBed and typed in the words "far apart," and the first song that popped up was the one that I ended up using.
Having to learn to cope together, being together when you're so far apart from each other.
So these first two tips are really paramount to helping you kickstart your film and get the creative juices flowing. One technique that I am a huge advocate for, especially when it comes to starting your wedding film, is to use moments that have personality. You could start with a drone shot, you could start with details, but where's the emotional connection with these shots? And if you want to make a film that truly feels genuine and authentic and a pure reflection of who your couples are, then you want to start with a moment that has a ton of personality. Every wedding day will have a moment. Sure, it might not always be the most emotional or pretty, but one thing it will have is authenticity. Personality creates authenticity within your films, and you want to have a lot more personality versus vanity-driven shots, especially if you want your films to stand out. Another great way to get your films to stand out, or if you want to just bypass the editing process altogether, is to consider outsourcing your wedding films. Sometimes the editing just isn't your strong suit, and you prefer to hold the title of creative director and let someone else hold the reins when it comes to the editing. And that's where Uncut Gems comes into play. They have been my go-to source for the last few months to help me kick backlog in the face, save time within my process, in my life and business. And right now they're offering you guys 65% off on your first edit. So head over to Uncut Gems, use my code Wayward65 at checkout so that you can start creating films that stand out and give you more time back in your business. Next is to trust your instincts. We are all born with intuitive instincts, and when it comes to how we approach creating wedding films, we should always reflect inward, check our feelings, and lean on our gut instincts when we are building our story. If something feels off, trust it. If you don't know if something feels off, then chances are, hey, something's up. Which leads me into my next favorite tip, and that's to phone a friend. Get feedback from other creatives, because that fresh perspective is exactly what we need sometimes to help us move to the next layer within our edit. Inside my community, one of my favorite threads is the construction zone. And this is where we post when we are feeling stuck within an edit, when we know something's off, but we can't pinpoint it, we can't verbalize it. And this is a great way to get more wisdom and perspective from other members inside the community so that we can get back to the edit and just keep moving forward. So if you're looking for a community of like-minded filmmakers to give you that feedback and help you in every step of your journey, I hope you consider Small Town Filmmaker. You can find the link down in the description. Sometimes we have to moderate inspiration to jumpstart our minds. I think a lot of us fall into what I think is more of a trap, and that is going to other people's wedding films to inspire us, to help us kickstart our own instinctive choices or decisions, to help us get started in our film. And oftentimes what ends up happening is we fall into a different path. We fall into the comparison trap and start feeling worse than we did before. And honestly, I just want to encourage you to moderate your inspiration and really try to practice the art of creating without influence, because there's just too much influence now. We're in the age of distractions, and we can get so caught up and lost in finding inspiration that we find something else that's not so great. So for this, I really recommend just cutting off all the distractions and try to create from a truly genuine place so that your film truly feels like you and not an amalgam of so many different people. It's great to embrace influence at the start of your journey so that you can build technique, but over time, you want to start relying on your own instincts over everyone else. Number 8 is to learn shortcuts and create an efficient workflow. Keyboard shortcuts have been honestly a godsend for me when it comes to efficiency, and the faster that we can get at the editing process, the less tedious, the less cumbersome, and the less dread we can honestly experience when we are going about editing a new wedding film. And even customize your workspace. Honestly, I have to feel creative in my space if I want to put all of my energy and creativity into the film. So make sure you have an organized space, you have a cup of coffee, you have your favorite snacks, you have everything you need to kickstart your wedding film off on the right foot mentally. Number 9 is to take regular breaks. Taking regular breaks is 100% necessary as an editor. Editing can be incredibly taxing and straining, and our films can only be as creatively healthy as we are. So avoid burnout by taking short breaks throughout the day, which is going to help you honestly stay more focused and dialed in to creating and getting more done in a day so that you're not feeling anxious or stressed when 5 o'clock rolls around and you're analyzing everything you got done for the day. So take short breaks to clear your mind, come back with fresh eyes so that you can fix any kind of mistakes and keep progressing your story. And the last tip is to make the first 60 seconds of your film memorable. Whether that is setting the stage by starting your film with powerful vows, getting right into the heart of who this couple is, creating something exciting with a lot of energy, something that's fun, quirky, and character building. Honestly, the first 60 seconds should be the most engaging of your film to draw attention, to keep people interested in the rest of your story. This has been great for me in my process because I treat the first 60 seconds as a playground, a place where I get to experiment and have fun with my film for the first 60 seconds that can help spark creativity and get me inspired to want to progress my story. Because once you see something that's fun, that's exciting, that just has a lot of emotion to it, it really does excite you as an editor and as a storyteller, because then that really helps you think, okay, yeah, I'm really feeling the creativity on this. I really want to keep progressing this story. And it just gives you so much inspiration when you have the first 60 seconds as a way to just play around and have fun. But that's it for today. I hope these 10 tips have been helpful and valuable in some way for you. If they have, it would mean so much if you consider liking and subscribing. Drop a comment below. Let me know what was your favorite tip from this video, or if you have other helpful tips for any editors out there who may be struggling. I would love to hear from you. And until next time, keep creating and telling beautiful stories. Peace.